I don't like this.
All right, so what is the first thing? Shh. What do you think the first thing we should be looking for here is? Okay, good. Determining what type of function it is first, right? So what type of function do we have here? Oh, this is a square root function. Meaning that our equation is going to be in this format. So, what is the only thing that is changed about this square root function from the original, from the original parent function? Oh, it was translated because remember, where does the parent function start? 0, 0, and then it goes to 1, 1, and then it goes to 4, 2. That's our parent function. So where did this move?
Down.
Down, okay, so if it moved down, how many? 2. What number would that change in our square root function? K. So I know at the end I'm going to have a what?
-2.
-2 at the end. What else happened?
Move right 1.
It moved right 1, so what number will that change?
H.
H. So what am I going to put for H?
+1. -1. Oh yeah, -1.
-1. Good. Now, what is the last thing we have to check for? What do we have to check for? What's something else that could change our function? What? Why would I put a negative in the front? Right. Is this reflected? No, so I don't put a negative. What else could be changed here?
Stretched or compressed.
Oh, it could be stretched or compressed. How can I look to see if it's stretched or compressed?
The number in the front.
Lane? Good. Well, no. What do I look at? What do I always say? Stretched or compressed? What, you know your center point is 0, 0. What, or not 0, well here it's -1 or +1, -2. What do I look for? So I'm looking at this graph. Here is my starting point. Where should the next perfect point be if it's normal? Where was it on our parent graph? Where was it? Up 1, over 1. So where should our next perfect point be? Up 1, over 1. Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, it is. So is it stretched or compressed? No. No, it's not. Do you see? All right. So that is our function right there. Square root of x minus 1 minus 2. Now here's where everyone's been struggling. Where is my domain? Where's my domain? Domain is what values? X values. So, what I asked myself in my head is, do I have a min or max point here?
Minimum and maximum.
I have a min point, right? That means that, am I going to have x always be less than something or x always be greater than something if I have a min point?
Greater.
Always greater. So, x is going to be greater than what value? What's the lowest value I have? 1, right? Do you see that right here? This is the lowest x value. So x is greater than, is it touching 1?
Yeah.
Yes, it is. So x is greater than or equal to 1.
Oh, really?
Yes. Then we look at our y values. Again, it's a min point, so I'm looking for the lowest
So why?
y value that I can have. What's my lowest y value?
-2.
-2. So y always has to be what? Greater than or equal to -2. Where do you get those numbers from? Without even looking at the graph, what can you look at? Oh, the equation we just made so nicely. Where did this -2 come from? Right there. Where did this 1 come from? Right here, but remember, inside the equation, that h is always backwards, so that's why it's a positive. Oh, that did not show up well. That's why it's always a positive 1. Jeepers.
That's fine.
It's fine. Here we go. Any questions on that? So the domain comes from the h value, and the range comes from the k value.
Color coordination.
And then the question asked, now I was really lenient when I was telling you if this was correct or not. Not very many people answered it to the 100% correctness I was expecting. Is this the square root parent function?
No.
No. Is it still a square root function?
Yes.
Yes, it is. It's just not the what? Parent function. So you put no. It is not the parent function. Because why?
Translated down to and over 1. Right.
Good. Because it is translated down to and right 1. Any questions on that?